Testing. Okay. Okay, well, I'm just doing this for fun, so I don't really expect anyone to join it. Yeah, okay. Well, okay. Why am I making this? I finished this how long has it been? I don't even remember when I made this, or when I finished this game and released it, but I think it was like a month ago. And I don't know, I wanted to play through it myself and give my thoughts on it and stuff, and just chill, I guess, because it stressed me out a lot, but in a good way. Yes, because making games is fun, or it's supposed to be fun. Yeah, okay, I don't know, I'm rambling and there's no one here, so whatever. Okay. So this is the title screen. I tried to make it fancy with the I didn't really try that hard because I kept the default loading screen, and I saw that someone was trying to click that window in the corner. I wanted to make it so that when you clicked it, you could access concept art and stuff, but that was too complicated, and I don't know how to do this program, so I just ended up not doing it. And yeah. Also, I don't think a lot of people got what the title meant. It's happiness deaf. That's how you pronounce it. Happiness deaf. It's in quotations because it's supposed to stand for happiness definition. I think I was trying to be deep with that, but I mean, it kind of just gives away what the game's supposed to be about. I think I should have put more effort into tying it back into the game. It's more of just like a background tie-in to the entire game. Yeah, because, I mean, well, this is assuming that you've played the game, which is why you're watching this and stuff, and you haven't looked through the guide and played through the rest for some reason, and you just want to watch it. Okay. Whatever. So, yeah, so that's what happiness definition, or happiness def stands for. It's defining happiness. That's pretty self-explanatory. Okay. I'm just gonna... Okay. How am I gonna do this? I think I'm gonna go for the neutral ending first. I think the neutral ending to me is, shoot, I forgot what it was called. Not the question, not the answer. It's so bad, I can't remember. The unanswered? I think it's called End Unanswered. I'm gonna go for End Unanswered first because that's the end that a lot of people got at first, obviously, because I guess it was just really vague for some people, and that's why they didn't get any of the other endings. I know I watched someone get the happy end, which is supposed to be the worst one, but they didn't know that, so it's okay. So I'm gonna do it in order of which ones I think are the most important. So I'm gonna do End Unanswered first, and then I'm gonna do Happy End, and then I'll do End the Question, and then I'll do the True End. The answer. I think that's what I called it. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Establish that. Okay. Now I'm gonna take this. Okay, here we go. Hope the audio and stuff is fine. I don't want to check it. I'll just edit this later if anything. Whatever. Oh, I have to read it. Okay. Okay. The room is still and quiet, and your sister Charlotte doesn't make a single sound. She sits in silence as she always does. This isn't the first time it's happened since you made this room. You developed a routine for when she comes here. You sit down and talk to her first. Slow first steps, the same ones you always take when you come back here for her. It wouldn't hurt to examine your surroundings for old time's sake. You decide to... Oh yeah, and the thing about this art style, I mean, if you know me, it's pretty obvious where I got this from. I got it from Omori. I just thought it was cool. Yeah, I just thought it was cool. So I basically took a lot of inspiration from games that I was into at the time. Oh, hi guys! I wasn't expecting anyone to actually join in. What's up? Hi! Please give me some kind of sign that you hear me, because I feel like I'm gonna... I have no idea if I'm just talking into the oblivion. Oh, shoot! Okay. Hi! 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 Okay, okay, I'm gonna assume you can hear me. Sweet! Let's go! Okay. Thank you! That's... okay. Hello, Paul, can you hear me? Okay, thank you. This is my mic check. Okay. Yes, I'm definitely talking to the void. That's Issa, right? Issa, okay. I don't want to assume. It's been a while since I've streamed. Thumbs up on WebEx. That's basic. Hi, Issa! So I'm playing through Happiness Death because I feel like, Well, I mean, that was before I put up the guide, but I feel like not a lot. The thumbs up emoji. I feel like not a lot of people managed to get the ending, so I'm just gonna play through it. Yeah, so I'm gonna do all the endings. I'm gonna just talk about it whenever I can, or whenever something pops into my head. So right now, I'm just talking about how this was taken from Omori, this whole art style, shifty thingy, because I think when I was doing the art, I was at peak Omori phase. Yeah. Okay, anyway. You decide to... Okay, I'm going for the neutral ending first, so I'm just gonna sit. Excited to see how this is about skipping through the guide. For real. Okay. Yeah, I uploaded the guide because I felt like a lot of people did not understand how to get the endings. Or either that or it was way too vague and people were just playing through it in a rushed manner-ish, or just they probably thought it was a linear thing, even though I gave choices, because I know a lot of visual novels give, like, the illusion of choice, and then in the end it doesn't really matter. So that's why I'm assuming a lot of people just played it straight through, or a lot of them seemed like they weren't expecting to have those prompts later on where you actually have to type stuff. This whole game was supposed to be you typing in answers. And yeah, so like for this one, the initial idea was that you were supposed to type what you wanted to do. Those aren't really fun. Yeah, I agree. It's why I don't really like playing visual novels. I mean, the most popular type of visual novel is, of course, like dating sims, and yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone knows how those work. So usually for these types of story-based visual novels where you're not romancing anybody, it's kind of easy to assume it's just going to be linear. So that's why I'm here. I'm playing through my own game just because I want to, and to show off that there's 4 endings and that blah 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 blah, whatever. Okay, no more talking. Okay, so I'm going to sit down because I'm getting the worst ending first. Or the neutral ending first. Okay. She doesn't react to you as you start to approach the chair. You can tell I did not really know how to do perspective because of how Charlotte looks compared to how the player or Wyatt looks. But whatever, I'm not going to bring too much attention. Okay, when you sit down, you enter the virtual world you created long ago. It is a hauntingly familiar room, completely bare except for the sunlit window, just the way you intended when you created it. You and your sister sit side by side once more. How many more times will she do this crosses your mind, but you shake it away. She's waiting for you to talk, just as patient as ever. Turning your head slowly, you pull up as much courage as you can. You talk. I was told that you've been here for longer than usual. I don't know why her face kind of freaked me out for a second. It wasn't even that long ago that I made this graphic, but that's Charlotte. I got asked this before. No, I did not mean for her to look like me. She just has bangs, and I feel like that's why people think that I made her look like me. It's because she has bangs, that's it. No, I thought she looked scrunkly with them, and I thought it looked funny, and I thought it would be nice. But no, she's not meant to look like me. If anything, she has that generic anime hairstyle, you know. But whatever, okay. You're trying not to feel unsettled by her stare. This artificial world is one you do. I know, yeah. The more that... It's funny because when I was finishing this game up, that's around the time that I cut my bangs too. So, in the end, yeah, she do be looking like me. But, oh well. But no, it was not intentional. It wasn't intentional. This artificial world is one that you made for the both of you when you were struggling together. My coworkers told me that you've been waiting for me. They send their regards. You aren't struggling together anymore, though. That's why you were the one coming back, and she was the one who remained. This is my mindset, you guys. I'm trapped in a room with flowers, and I own a green sweater. Yes. No, actually, I think I meant to make her and her brother look Filipino. The only indication that I really gave of that, though, was this one CG where Wyatt wears this white tank top, and I think I based that off of my cousins growing up, because I would always see them wearing a white tank top. That's the only indication that I ever gave that they were Filipino. It's not a very strong indication, but whatever. Yeah, they're supposed to be Filipino. Anyway, okay, whatever. You aren't struggling together anymore, that's why you're the one coming back, and she was the one who remained. You know, I spent 5 years making this, 5 years spent making a room that we can't even walk around. I like the little bird. Thank you! Yeah, I forgot who it was. I think it was either you or someone else that... Yeah, I think it was you who told me that it was kind of hard to see who was talking, so I was like, oh, okay. And then I got kind of lazy with the graphics, so I made it the same as the choice bar. But yeah, thank you for that. It helped a lot. Your hand makes a gesture. We're adults now, aren't we, Charlotte? Surely your college classes are giving you enough to do than sit around here all day. Surely I shouldn't have to keep reminding you to move on from this place. Get out of here! Guys, this is a continuation of... Well, actually, no, I can't say that. I can't say that. I'm streaming. I have to be serious. I'm serious, you guys. This is a serious game. Hello? I can't say it. I probably shouldn't say it. Hello, Fairfield. Thank you for viewing. No! Hashtag the room. Okay. Surely I shouldn't have to keep reminding you to move on from this place. She doesn't respond to your words. They lack accusation, but she stares at you like she's anticipating it. It's very serious, yeah. Sure. It is meant to be a serious game, but, I mean, whatever. I'm the creator. I can do what I want with this game. I can make fun of anybody in this game that I want to. Okay, already weary, you wonder if you should ask how long she's been here. It's hard to not snap at her, and you feel as though you will eventually. Yeah, it's too early for that. I'm not putting that hashtag. Oh my gosh. Okay. You... Yes, please, how do I even respond to this? Please email out the link to my stream. Yes. No, actually don't. No, never mind. That's a terrible idea. I don't want more, Fairfield. I don't want Fairfield brethren coming in. Happy viewing. Happy viewing, everybody. No! No. We're not doing that. No. No. Okay, you ask. I'm gonna ask. I think if I do snap, that leads, like, straight to the other ending, so I'm not gonna do that. Tell them to sub if you do. Hello, everybody. This is, a link to Caitlin's live stream. Please like and subscribe. Oh my gosh. Okay, anyway. How long have you been here? Since this morning. You are so glad to hear her voice despite it being hoarse and monotone. It hasn't even been that long since you heard it. Drive safe. Who is Caitlin? No, do not play this stream. That's so bad. That's how you audio check. Hello, can you hear this live stream of this random person on YouTube? I don't know who Caitlin is. Who's Caitlin? I already know. Yeah, that's weird. I've never referred to myself as that, but whatever. Ooh, and I'm not translating it. I can't even understand it. Type in the chat. Type in the chat. How do you say this sentence in Tagalog? I'll wait. Okay, you're taking too long. Okay, it hasn't even been that long since you heard it. Could you suggest leaving so that you could speak to her in a better setting? You aren't sure how she'll handle that. It's worth a shot, isn't it? The other part of you selfishly wonders why you're even here bending to her will. The years have matured you, yet you feel as though your patience is wearing thin. I'm so tired of reading. No, okay. Maybe if you just stay silent and try to let her talk, she will. You've done enough of it already. I'm not making jokes on here. We're gonna stay forever. Yeah, it is gonna stay forever. So, yeah. I mean, I guess I could just private this. But, I mean, it's worth a shot. What? What is that acronym? Is that an acronym? I don't want to say it out loud if it's something bad. Anyway. Gosh. Man, you done with... Maybe if you just stay silent and try to let her talk, she will. You've done enough of that. I'm sorry if you can hear creaking. I'm swaying in my chair and my chair's broken. Oh, hi, Kuya! You need to... they don't offer Tagalog on Duolingo, man. I don't know. Is that a Tagalog word, man? I don't know. Is that how you say? Yes. I'm not gonna say it because I'd rather not butcher Tagalog on stream where it will stay forever. But that's how you say the title in Tagalog. Okay. Okay. In the end, I don't think this matters, but I'm just gonna stay silent because it's quicker. Oh, sorry. The silence reigns. I'm not saying it. You can come in here. Just go into... Guys, Stream Orbit on Spotify. Oh, Papa. I'm not gonna say that, but thanks, Isa. It's okay if you spelled it wrong, because I don't even understand it, even though it was probably the sentence that I asked my author to translate. Isabella from SL. That's Winter Kid. Okay. Silence reigns once more as you struggle to come up with a response. She is tense beside you. She won't say anything else. This always happens when you find her in the room. For anyone who's joining in, like, oh, you want to say? Okay, here she comes. Here she comes. Diba. There you go. Bye. There you go. I hope you guys are happy. Okay. It means, oh, thank you. Okay. I'm gonna copy and paste that onto, actually no, I'm just gonna write that down on the card, so whenever I encounter brethren who speak Tagalog, I'll just be like, I don't understand, I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you. Okay, now the rest of you have to come to my house and pronounce it again. Oh yeah, but, I'm just playing through, I'm assuming that's... Is it? Wait, really? I thought she was just saying a random word. Oh, I don't, Come here. He just burst into my house like, I have to say something really important. Oh, what? Okay, yeah. That's what I thought. Or, that's not what I thought. I was thinking something else. Never mind. Okay, for anyone who's joining now, I'm just playing through all the endings. I'm going with the neutral one first, and then the worst one, and then the second best-ish one, and then the best one. Also, happiness, deaf stands for definition. I don't know if people got that. I said that at the beginning, but I don't think anyone was here. The whole thing is defining happiness, and yes. Yeah, this stream is actually learning Tagalog with me, because I also don't understand. So that's what we're doing today. Did the music stop? Well, oh, aren't you at work right now? I talked for so long, the music gave up on me. Sorry. Is that something I have to fix? Do I have to fix that? Do I have to make the music loop? I thought it was supposed to automatically loop. Oh well. You know what? I'm not gonna bother with that. We're just gonna have it be quiet, I guess. Okay. Perhaps it'd be best to think things through before speaking once more. Then again, perhaps it... No, actually, no. I think the music is supposed to stop. You want to be the music? Okay, you can be the music. I think the music is supposed to stop here. I just don't remember. Okay, then again, perhaps it'd be best to talk it out before she slips. Yeah, I'm gonna fix it. And if it is a bug, that's not my problem right now. Whatever. Future me can go do that some other time. I don't really want to update this game again, though. I'm not gonna lie. It's too much of a hassle. Okay. You take a moment and I don't think this one matters either, but oh no, it does matter. Because the think option is when you start typing stuff. Okay, I'm just gonna talk. The breath you take in is shaky and you prepare yourself to break the silence. Why stay here? Those are the words you manage to get out instead of reproaching her for acting so distant from her brother. Is that the music? Oh, that's music. Okay, cool. The only family she could rely on. Don't you know that you have the choice to move on from this, to forget it? It takes her a moment to respond, and she looks so empty, staring at what lies before her. Closing her eyes for a few seconds, she looks exhausted, and you know her response will be just as terribly solemn as her expression. The more you stare at her, remembering how her eyes will never truly look back at you, the more anxiety and worry twists in your stomach. Oh, hold on. Okay. You already know what I want to say. Her voice is a whisper, but it just doesn't work the way you want it to. Frustration burns in your chest and hands in a familiar way. The temptation to get up from the chair and leave her for good overwhelms you. That line was supposed to foreshadow the happy end. So it kind of hints that the happy end, it's not canon, but it does show what kind of person Wyatt is. Anyway, okay. But you don't. The moment you get up from the chair, all of it will disappear. There used to be an unspoken rule back when you first revealed the room to her. You would only stay until you couldn't hold back from trying to reach for those walls and golden glows from the eternal sunset. It was a harsh slap in the face when you came back to reality. I'm so tired of this. Your anger speaks for you, cracking and tearing through the patience that been too much to not break. I'm so tired of you acting like this, like it's so hard to let go, and then you never even bother to listen. You're tired? Her voice trembles in the midst of your sentence and rises to cut it off. Can I promote this? Go for it, yeah. You can. Why not? We're just chilling. You're tired. Okay, hold on. I'm going to turn on my light because it's getting really dark. Go for it. Promote it. Go for it, yeah. This is like the second party in the chat, except... How do you say that? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Okay. You're tired. You're the one who always shoves yourself into my life, telling me how to live with what we went through. You always tell me to move on, to let go, the kind of things you tell someone when they've lost something that can be forgotten. Gosh, sorry. And yet, you were the one who built this place, the one who made it so that we'd never be able to forget. You scold me for reminding you about this room and Mother. I think that's the first time Mother is actually mentioned without you prompting anything. I didn't know whether or not to fix that or to change that when I was first making it, because I think when I was test running with Wesley, he didn't know that's spoilers, but I just didn't know whether or not I should have made it more obvious. But this is the first time, I think, that it's mentioned without any prompting, because technically the first time that you can mention her is in the think option, where you type out whatever you want to think about, and I think it talks about her in the option for parents, the room, and I think and Charlotte, but I might be wrong. Okay. You told me that this room was made so we can move on, but I know the real reason. It's because you can't. The truth. She knows what you locked away deep within you. The truth behind the room, the secrets that you wished would die. Oh. Okay. You refused to look at its bleeding selfishness for years and years and kept it hidden. You smothered it whenever it screamed too loud for you to bear until it would silence itself, only for it to scream again. It's screaming the loudest in this moment. It screamed the word. Yeah, I think this prompt was probably too vague. Thanks for coming, Issa. Have a good service. But yeah, I think this prompt was way too vague, which is why I'm glad I just put up the guide. Yeah, it's not obvious at all. Now that I really think about it, it's really not obvious, but it's fine. Scream the word. Okay, I'm gonna get it wrong, so we can get the neutral ending. And yet, as you always did, you refused to listen. So that's also hinting about the actual, or what's actually going on, which is explained in the good ending. Also this is small. If you see any CGs that has this black border to it, it's because I made the drawing in the wrong canvas size. I think I made this in 1280 720, but this game is 1980 whatever. So that's why it looks small like that. It wasn't a cool stylistic choice. It was just a really bad mistake that I had to work with because I was too lazy to fix it. You were protected in that small room that had given you the most memorable shelter. The both of you feared nothing back then, yet that was all you could feel now. Did I say feel? Feared, sorry. You sat in the remains of your childhood, shrouded in the flow of the preserved ending afternoon, and a perfection that time would never allow, just as you've done so many times. There was no longer anyone that you could scream at and blame, and you knew you could never do that to Charlotte. Once more, the two of you sit side by side in the room that trapped you for years. It will continue to do so, protecting you from the walls beyond its protecting you from the world beyond its walls. She will continue to come here and draw you back in. Your thoughts stemmed from questions and cries are lulled to sleep in the silence. The sun will always be at the brink of setting. The darkness will never come. You are safe. You would never leave, and neither would she, even when all else falls away and you are still left with no words. And unanswered. So that's basically, well, if you know what happens in the game, this ending is what Wyatt, or the player as in the person that you're playing as, it's what he wants to happen continuously for practically the rest of their lives. He just wants it to be just the two of them, just always in the room, and with Charlotte just always drawing him. Yeah, boo Wyatt, he sucks. He does suck, not gonna lie. He sucks. But that's what he wants. So yeah, this ending is a reflection of what Charlotte's been. Oh, brother. Exactly. But it's basically showing what Charlotte's been dealing with for, I'm gonna guess, a good couple of years, since he spent, what, I think it said he spent 5 years making the room. I don't think I ever established how long they've had it. But just assume that during all that time, this is what he wanted, and that's what she's been dealing with. That's why she keeps coming back, and that's usually how it ends, with them just staying there. And then you could even think of it as like replaying the game after playing this ending. That's just another session where it's the same thing over again. You want to open it up to interpretation. Okay, I'm gonna start again. Also, I made these sound effects, and it was really ugly because I put on my dad's shoes, and I just walked around and picked out the ones that sounded the coolest to me. And that door squeaking was how my door used to sound before we fixed it. It was the most annoying thing ever. And that weird ambiance in the background was our dryer. I think I couldn't remove it from the sounds that I initially had, so I kind of went whatever. And I put it in. Okay, so I'm just gonna skip through this, and I'm gonna go for the worst ending now. I don't think this matters. So the worst ending is just gonna be, I'm pretty sure you're locked in for the worst ending as soon as you snap at her. If you snap at her, then you're locked in. That's actually so cool, I didn't know. And thank you. It was only for that opening scene, honestly, other than like the music and stuff. The music I made with GarageBand, so. But yeah, I wanted to make more, but again, I was being pretty lazy with this. So I kind of just went full force with the, hi Mari! I went full force with the opening scene, and then from then on it was just, me being lazy and just rolling with it. Okay, so now I'm gonna get... What? Where's Olivia? What the heck? Rodrigo? Miss Nini? Is she still Nini? I don't even know. Okay. Okay, so we're going for the worst ending. So I'm gonna just speed through it because I read this all earlier. And hi Myla! So sorry. So I'm just gonna speed through this. Okay. I'm pretty sure the only requirement that you need to get this ending is to snap at her, and then you're just locked into the ending. You can't get anything else. So in that way, I guess it's kind of linear, whatever. Okay, so you snap, and since I didn't read this earlier, I'll read it. Your temper rises from her silence, and you do your best to keep your voice down. I'm talking to you, answer me. Olivia always shouts out to us. Does she? Who are you guys talking about? She's talking to you. Huh? Oh, I didn't read that. She did that for driver's license. Okay. Good for her. I hope she puts on a pair of shoes for her next performances. Her body is still, but she winces through her eyes, squinting ever so slightly in stifled discomfort. Sorry. Okay, cool. Okay. I was just like, who's Olivia? Who are we talking about? I didn't see Atha's other comment. Okay. Her discomfort is hidden by the hoarseness and monotony of her voice, and though it was a rough start, you're glad to hear it. Could you suggest leaving so you could speak to her in a better setting? You aren't sure how she'll handle that. It's worth a shot, isn't it? The other part... Oh, I already said that. I already read that earlier. Okay. I think this prompt is the only one that changes depending on whether or not, like, which one you picked earlier. So that was the snap or, was it ask, I think, yeah. This is the only one that reflects that. And I think it was because before the whole, snap thing was supposed to be, it was supposed to be a little more complicated, where it wasn't just that would lead to the bad ending, but I got kind of lazy with it, so I just made it, like, pretty linear. Can you make a gesture with your hand? Oh, with your head. Oh, yeah, with your head. Yeah. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. You make a gesture with your head to leave, but make no effort to stand up just yet. Come on, let's get out of here. We've had enough of this room. We can. No. The hostility in her voice makes you freeze for a moment. Are you serious, Wyatt? You just got here and you want to leave already? Also, this is a CG, like, one of the few ones of Charlotte that I actually kept from the 2020 version that I was doing, and you can tell because her hair is swept to the front of her, like, it's swept to the front, but if you look at the newer ones, it's swept to the back, and also, like, I think her bangs are a little more thin in the old ones. But I kept some of the old ones of Charlotte, like, it's mostly the ones where she's mad, because I couldn't really recreate that emotion, I guess, because at that point I was really, I felt like I was really, what's the word, not behind in my art style, but it felt like my art style kind of regressed in terms of showing emotion and stuff for my characters. So that's the only one that I kept, even though I didn't really like the anatomy and stuff of them, but it's fine. You recognize that look in her eyes that speak all the unsaid words she has always wanted to say. The words you spoke to her earlier come to mind, and you know that you deserve the hostility. You're surprised that she managed to hold... I don't know you. Anyway. I don't know who that person was, but I'm gonna guess it was a bot. If it wasn't, I also do not care. You're surprised she managed to hold back from yelling. We're not leaving, not yet. It's an artificial world, but the anger you feel is real. Gosh, okay. The way your face twists in frustration is real. The string of things you want to shout at her are real. But you take a moment to recollect yourself and you remind yourself that though what you feel and what she says are real, it's the artificial world composed of real memories that make you feel this way. Your parents would never understand, though they tried their best to at first. They tried to dissuade you from creating this room and genuinely believed that something must have been very wrong. Of course, they didn't understand why. No one, except you and Charlotte, could ever understand why you wanted to have this room. It was a simple reminder, a way to cope. Your parents hated that. Years of pushing them away had succeeded. Now you and your sister were all alone. You both continued to seek refuge in a broken room you made for broken children. Yet she was still taking advantage of it as an adult. You know why. You know how fondly she thinks of Mother. The silence reigns once more as you struggle to come up with a response. She is tense beside you. She won't say anything else. This always happens when you find her in the room. Perhaps it's best to think things through before speaking once more. Then again, perhaps it'd be best to talk it out before she slips away from you again and becomes completely unresponsive. You take a moment and, I don't think this matters either, since we're getting the worst ending, so I'm just gonna talk. Okay, and then I already read this. I think this is new. The quiet is nearly unbearable. In desperation for her to say anything, you stare at her in anticipation. Her gaze never turns your way. She looks empty, staring at what lies before her. Closing her eyes for a few seconds, her eyebrows furrow and your body stiffens. The tiredness and frustration is more visible when her eyes open and burn into the scene before you. If she turned that gaze at you, you'd wither on the spot. I don't want to. Her voice is hard and hostile. Frustration burns in your chest and your hands in a familiar way, and the temptation to get up from the chair and leave her for good overwhelms you. I'm so sick of this. Sorry, that caught me off guard. I was like, what happened to the music? Your anger... Oh. Okay, yeah. Okay, sorry. I remember playing this when I first started working on this game again. When I played it again this year, I was going through the endings, and this one was the only one that I had completed at that point, and I totally forgot that I switched the music for it, so this part super caught me off guard. Okay. Your anger speaks for you, cracking and tearing through the patience that thins too much to not break. I'm so sick of you acting like this, like it's so hard to let go of this place, and you never even bother to listen to anything I have to say to you. Your voice rises until you feel like you could scream. Don't you know how hard it is for me to watch you like this? How hard it is for me to keep having to come back here because of you? I made this so that we could leave it behind, not so you could use it to run away from your freaking problems. Whatever thing it is that you're going through now doesn't justify you making me waste my time on helping you through the same thing over and over again. It's your own fault that you can't move on from this, Charlotte. You don't even try. You don't even think about what I have to go through just to help you. I don't know why you bother existing when you know how much of a burden you are. Then leave. So this is very much him, once again, deflecting his feelings of what happened and his thoughts of Mother onto Charlotte. and it only really comes out because she's not acting the way that he wants her to, which is because he snapped at her, which is why she got angry. And I'm gonna assume that she's never outwardly told him to leave before, because like I said earlier, it always ends up with him, or these kinds of sessions always have him go to her, and then they talk, and then they stay quiet, and then it's just rinse and repeat over and over again. So her being outwardly aggressive to him makes him turn up that, I can't think of the word. It turns up like his deflection of his obsession onto her even more, which ultimately culminates in what happens at the end. It's the quickest she's answered and the most confident she's ever sounded. Also, that CG from before was also from 2020. I thought it looked really cool, so I just kept it. She says nothing afterwards, and the way she stares into the sunset burns into your head. It's sickeningly bright in the room you created yourself from the memories that both of you shared. You yearn for the sun to set already to make way for the darkness that always followed. But that never happens in this room, this captured memory. We're using some big words. What, like deflection? I can't think of the word that I used before. What is it? Yeah, it's not coming to mind right now, but yeah. I'm just gonna keep saying that. It's deflecting. Yeah. Okay, but that never happens. That's a big word for Caitlin too, because I can't think of the other big words right now. But that never happens in this room, this captured memory that will never descend into darkness and bring sleep to weary souls who have gone through too much. Wyatt is a poet. They never give any indication of that. I just think that he'd be the type of person who writes poetry and never posts it. But yeah, he'd probably be that type of person. She doesn't want to leave. When you stand up, the familiar white walls of the room is a comfort to your weary eyes. The steps you take toward the door are heavy, and when you look back, she sits as still as she did when you first came in. She doesn't want to leave. Man, you can super tell I rushed this. That is super rushed, and it hurts my heart. But you know what? Whatever. That room of eternal sunsets and facades is all she wants to see. Well then, that's fine. Facades were what you did best. This is probably like, if I were to parallel it to the other endings, this ending is probably a direct parallel of the true ending, because, well, like, the obvious thing is that it's both sides of, or two ends of a spectrum. It's like the worst possible thing that could ever happen. But Wyatt is totally, completely capable of. And the true ending, which is, it's not necessarily a good ending for him, because it's just the truth being thrown at his face and that he can't really live the way that he's been wanting to. But Charlotte moves on with her life and stuff like that. But yeah, this is the worst ending. And it's not the worst ending because you as the player necessarily did anything that's bad. I mean, the only prerequisite for this ending is that you snap at her, and that's a pretty normal thing, I think. I mean, like, you snap at people all the time, but it's kind of showing how, like, what kind of person Wyatt is. I think I said that earlier in this stream, but yeah, it just goes to show what kind of person Wyatt is, that he's capable of doing this because of his dedication to the obsession with Mother, quote unquote Mother. And so now the room is just even more his delusion at this, like that. also the reason Charlotte kind of glitches in like that is also, yeah, I keep saying also. The reason why Charlotte glitches in like that is because Wyatt is trying to imagine that she's still there. I mean, I'm assuming that you can only see the room when you sit down in the chair. I'm pretty sure you would still be able to see other people walk in. This is me just like setting the base for like my own game. So yeah, it's all like glitched out and stuff when she's sitting there next to him because he's just imagining that she's still sitting there, and it becomes clear when it shows her body because obviously she's not sitting there, but he's trying to he has like this delusion that she's still sitting there next to him because that's normal in his head. Yeah, that's what he wants. Yeah, that's what he wants from her. He just wants her to always stay there. And the way that it's a stream, right? I don't have monetization for this first one, so it's whatever. The reason why he kills her like that is pretty, if you've played through the good ending, it's pretty obvious why. He hangs her body from the ceiling. It's to directly parallel how Mother died, and even later on when you look at the true end, I don't think it was necessarily Charlotte's chair that she used when she did it, but yeah, it's just, yeah, it's supposed to parallel it. I don't really have much more to say. Okay. She would never truly leave, and neither would you. Obviously. She's hanging from the ceiling. That is the answer you've realized. I know, Charlotte deserves better, which is why I'm not sympathetic for Wyatt a lot, even though I think he's one of the more complicated characters that I've created because he's not a good person. He's not a good person, but it's not entirely intentional, if that makes sense. It's kind of the way that his trauma shaped him. Everything that he did with Charlotte, though, I mean, it's hard to argue that it's unintentional. Why is this one called the happy end? It was because it's the happy end from his point of view, because it's, well, of course, it's like the worst ending possible. I mean, he killed his own sister in this ending, but it's also happy for him because he can, like, forever live out the delusion that he wants to. Like, she'll never try to speak out against him again, I guess, because the reason why he snaps in this is because she's very obviously rebelling against his delusions and his perceptions and whatever. Yeah, so that's why it's called the happy end. He for real needs therapy, Groupon. Yeah, I like to imagine that Charlotte definitely gets therapy after the good ending because she needs it. She deserves it. But for him, I think it would take a little bit longer after the good ending, just because it's like he's processing a lot of stuff. I think he deserves it because dude needs it. So, yeah. Sunshine. What? Yes. There is sunlight coming through the window. I don't know what you're talking about. This is the same with when you talk about Olivia. I swear, every time Atha talks, or she just pops back in, I spend like a good minute just being confused about what she's saying. Okay, so that was the happy end, so that's 2 endings out of 4. Now I'm gonna go for the second best ending, which is end the question, I'm pretty sure. I'm just gonna skip through it. I'm half awake too, man. I'm tired. You like happy end? Did you watch it? Really? I think that's like the most brutal thing I've ever done. Yeah, okay, while I'm skipping through this, this game is pretty brutal, or I tried not to make it as, dark as I could at first. Okay, fair enough, yeah. The happy end is one of the ones that I put a lot more effort into, which you could tell because I did that little, like, scene where she turns around. Oh, that's also supposed to hint that, like, yeah, he kills her. So, yeah, this is one of the darker medias that I've ever made. I mean, there's not much to compare it to, honestly, but it's pretty straightforward. Okay, so I think for this one, I have to examine, and then I have to get the last prompt wrong, and then that's the only prerequisite. Okay, the room is completely white and still with a single window. A simple, unassuming design that could easily deceive anyone who glanced inside. That was intentional so that no one would really question what he's doing. I'm assuming to an outsider point of view, and what he kind of wanted it to look like. He wanted to make it look like he made this room kind of for Charlotte because he wanted to make it look like she's the one who's having a lot of trouble with moving on, so he made this room for her, and if you just looked inside, you wouldn't really think anything of it. I mean, even if you sat down in the chair, there's not really a lot of indication as to what really went on inside there, for reasons explained later on. Yeah. Even after so many years, it has remained the same. Same room, same story. Just once again pointing out to him being like, oh, Charlotte's in there again, and I have to go get her, even though it's what he wants. It's the same with Charlotte. You've had enough of staring around. She doesn't react as you start to approach the chair. I was kind of proud of that. I forgot to say earlier, but I was proud of that, like, transition scene. Sucks that I never used it again. Okay, and then I'm gonna skip through this. I'm gonna examine her. Did I read this part already? No, I don't think I have. Unmoving and staring right at you, her eyes tell you quite unnervingly that she expected your arrival. She looks thin, exhausted. Doesn't she know you're exhausted too? She stares silently and you know she won't talk first. I was told that you've been here for longer than usual. Okay, I've read this part before. When it goes to the think one, I'm not gonna go through all the options just yet. I think I'll probably go through that. I'll go through that when I. I lost my train of thought. Oops. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. Whatever. Okay. Would you suggest taking a shot? Oh, options. Okay. I'm not gonna go through all of them right now because I'm just trying to get through, like, to the ending. And you recognize that look in her eyes that speaks all the unsaid words she has always wanted to say. It's gone in a few moments and she looks away from you, eyebrows furrowed, eyes downcast. You wonder if it's because she's ashamed of how much of a burden she is being. Yeah, he's mean to her. Everything he observes about her, it's very much him looking down on her. Kind of like, not to put her in her place, like, necessarily, but he looks down on her a lot. Doesn't she know that you were taking time out of your day just to be here with her? You're not leaving, not yet. Okay, I read that before. And... oh, also, there's like this... there was this... okay. When it says mother here, it speaks in bold for him, but whenever Charlotte talks about her, it's set in quotes with which again is kind of foreshadowing the truth and whatever, but yeah, that's it. I'm gonna think, and like I said, I'll go through the options another time, but for now I'm gonna do Charlotte. This is also old art that I did that I just didn't want to replace because I was lazy. Okay, she wasn't such a fragile person. She's such a fragile person, sorry. She wasn't like that before. No, before she always dove into things headfirst without thinking it through and said what she wanted to say without thinking of repercussions. Now she is so unnervingly cautious. At times like this, you wondered whether she could ever break out of the empty shell of a person she was now. Why stay here? Those are the words you managed to get out instead of reproaching her for... Oh, I already read this. Read this. Oh, and also that's hinting... That's really the most she could jab at him without him freaking out, I'm guessing. Well, no, he freaks out anyway, as seen here, yeah. Okay, and then I'm actually going to save here so that, oh, I have, here, just in case, because I know I updated it, updated it, I'm just going to save there. Okay, and I read this already. Okay, and then now I'm going to get the word wrong. Oh, what? Huh. What did I... Okay. Okay. Oh, you know what? Oops. Okay. No, I know what I did wrong. I was supposed to not examine anything, I'm pretty sure. Sorry, I'm gonna skip through this. I think I'm not supposed to examine anything, and then I do it. Sorry. I'm gonna skip this, I'm gonna stay silent. I'm gonna think. Actually, no, I'm gonna talk. Okay, and then I'm gonna get it right. I think that's what it is. Okay, now I think it's gonna be the ending that I want. Okay, this room was ours. Her voice cracks and you see the red of the sunset reflect in her eyes. Oh, well that just totally throws out the window what I was trying to do. Well, just imagine it's in quotes because that's what it's supposed to be. Mother gave it to us. She gave it to us with absolute confidence that we'd be content. She wanted us to stay here. And we would have, Wyatt. We would have. I know. That is your best attempt at an unspoken apology, a quick breath and an inner struggle to douse the fires of your frustration. You remind yourself that you are empathetic first and an older sibling second. That's more supposed to be a jab at how he is as an older sibling. I'm not trying to say anything about older siblings in general. It was just supposed to say that he sucks. I know, Charlotte, I know we would have stayed. We were happy here. But it's dangerous of you to remember her like that. So fondly. Something just like this room, so beautiful and so rotten, preserved only in a captured memory. Fondly? Solemn and stable, Charlotte's tone was always like this when she spoke about her. You like her best when she is thoughtful and reminiscing, yet it is also during these times where you struggle the most. She wanted to help us. We had nothing before her, and we had nothing when we had her. I'm assuming, made this, when she talks like this, it's mostly her just parroting things that Wyatt would say, so this is also very much just his influence on her, once again. Like how I said earlier, where she used to be she had a very strong personality as a kid, and now she's just going along with whatever her brother wants because of their shared trauma that she feels like she can't get through without him, but she needs to get through it without him because otherwise they're just never going to get through it because he doesn't want to. but we were able to be happy anyway. And also that's also an indication because he kind of completes her sentence for her. And this sentence is kind of like a reality check for him that she's not as into this fantasy as he wants her to be. Fantasy as in like the room and the memory of mother and stuff. At one point, I envied you for thinking that way, thinking you could do whatever you wanted without thinking of the repercussions, letting me believe it was fine to do the same. We were kids. If you dwelled on it more, your tone would be full of shame. If you managed to see past the nostalgia, you'd see naivety, that word, and stupidity. But your mind has been long trained to avoid that. To avoid the burden of responsibility over your mind and Charlotte's. Your voice is as light as you can manage. We were kids. Her gaze is different when you look into her eyes. Somehow you can see that she sees past the nostalgia. She sees what you try not to, and she's always been able to. And you think we aren't now? There had been nothing to fear back then when you were children. You were protected in that small room that had given you the most memorable shelter. The both of you feared nothing back then, yet that was all you could feel now. You sat in the remains of your childhood, shrouded in the flow of the preserved ending afternoon and a perfection that time would never allow. There was no longer anyone that you could scream at in blame. And you knew you could never do that to Charlotte. She would never truly leave, and neither would you. Why do you cling on? Oh, that line is supposed to not only be his deflection onto her, but also references to the fact. I'm dying because I hear Kirsten laughing. Yeah, I know. Girl is so loud. Oh my gosh. This line is supposed to reference not only the fact that or not only the deflection that he's doing onto her. Gosh, what is the word? It's not. You know what? It's bothering me so much. I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna look. What did I say? Pushed his obsession onto her. No, I don't think that's the word. I really do not know what word I'm thinking about right now. Hold on. Also, if you listen to the music, it's just the song that plays throughout the game. It's just in more of a background tone. Sounds super creepy. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so it references not only his deflection of his obsession onto her, but also, oh my gosh, okay, but also the fact that he knows that she's traumatized by what happened, and that's kind of what he depends on. He depends on that so that he can keep going with whatever he wants to. Why do you cling onto this place so much? She doesn't expect you to answer a question you don't like answering, so she continues after a beat. Why do you constantly think back to Mother? No, a woman who took us away from our real home. Why is this room something you never want to forget? Every answer you attempt to give her becomes lodged in your throat. Ironically, you are the silent one, the one she probes for answers. The look she gives you is one that you know well. When you created this room, was it enough for you? Like it reflects on what this ending is called. It's called The Question. She doesn't get any closure on why he is the way he is in this ending, which I think is why I would think that this is kind of it's like the second best ending, but she doesn't really get anything from this other than the ability to walk away from him. So she gets to leave him, but there's no closure to this in this ending. The sunset is never ending, even though that day has long passed. Time stands still in the artificial world, and you remain still with it. When she stands, you cannot bring yourself to get up with her. She doesn't look back at you. I've already found my answer. You're the one who needs to find yours. Her answer is therapy. The question. Okay, that's the third one. So now, I'm gonna quickly do this last one because I actually have to leave. Okay, so now, scream the word mother. This room was ours. Her voice cracks. Okay, I read this part already. And I read this, and I read this. Okay. And okay, I think this is different. Yeah, this is different. And yet you would never forget the day those chairs they would sit together in as a family that were smashed. How mother stood, wait, is this right? Yeah. How mother stood behind you as the two of you sat in the center, taking in the damage she had done. How you heard the faint sounds of sirens outside before mother raised the leg of a chair above her head. Charlotte was out before she could turn around like you did. Mother never got along with her the way she did with you. That's indicating that mother did not really like Charlotte. I mean, Charlotte didn't get along with her because, well, she didn't want to be there. I mean, this woman kidnapped them. And she got along with Wyatt because Wyatt was just all in for it, I guess. And he wanted her attention and stuff because, as it was hinted at in the other prompts, he wasn't, they weren't like the most, or the happiest family. Yeah, so he got the attention he wanted from this woman. And that's why they were so close, and that's why he's so attached to her, and also because he witnessed, well, what's gonna happen right now. Was that why she hit her so hard? This room is comprised of things she saw before Charlotte slipped into the darkness. You'll never tell her that you saw a red stain and darkened the floors. He's deep. Yeah, it's kind of deep. I guess so. Also, it looks like this screen looks like this because I made the resolution too small. It worked out in my favor because it looks cool. It's like you're peering into memory and stuff, but that's why it's small. You'll never tell her how numb you felt when you realized it was coming from her head. Yeah, so she hit her so hard, she was bleeding. Take that for what you will. She did not like her. And also, so it was Wyatt's chair, is what I'm now realizing. You'll never tell her how long Mother looked at you. You will never tell her how long you looked at Mother. So that's his trauma. Okay. That's his trauma. He witnessed it, and I mean, that's a lot for a kid. Yeah. I don't blame him because he was a victim in this just as much as Charlotte was. It's just that he was a more willing victim because he was manipulated. Of course, he was a kid. It's more of his actions afterwards that I think are inexcusable with the way that he's portraying it and the way that he's dealing with it, and he's just dragging his sister into it and all that, which I've already talked about. So the both of you feared nothing back then before the day you went with Mother. Even when Charlotte cried and cried, not wanting to go with you, you screamed at her until her fear was smothered. You thought you had successfully smothered your own long ago. Yet that was all you could feel now. You sat in the remains of your childhood, shrouded in the flow of the preserved ending afternoon, and a perfection that time would never allow. There was no longer anyone that you could scream at and blame, and you knew you could never do that to Charlotte. Which is ironic, you know, considering he straight up kills her in one of the endings. The truth weighs heavily on you, and you stare down at your lap, your eyes boring into the hands of a hypocrite. Move on, you told her, and yet remained sitting at her side. Why do you cling... Oh. Why do you cling on to this place so much? She doesn't expect you to answer a question you don't like answering, and she continues after a beat. Why do you constantly think back to Mother? Oh, see, it's in quotations here. I think I just forgot to do it I forgot to do it in the other ending. No, a woman who took us away from our real home. Why is this room something that we never want to forget? And in this one, he actually tries to answer her. So it's kind of like hinting that in this one, she knows why he did all of this and stuff. Because of the memories she gave us. The look she gives is one that you know well, one that is hard and done. You tell me that I don't listen, but refuse to see that I understand the depth of your words more than you do. You said we were happy here, but you're wrong, Wyatt. I never was. I feel nothing but contempt. At first, it was towards Mother, whose presence I felt every time I came in here. Then it was towards you, who built this room because of your own obsession that you deflected onto me. When you didn't respond to my pleas to leave this room behind, when you refused to talk to Mom and Dad because they wanted to help you, all I could do was stay silent and let you play the part of a caring older brother. All I could do was let you pat my head and tell me that it'd be okay. That I'd get over what happened soon. As if I was the one obsessed with the memory of a dead woman who kidnapped us. I hated you. I could never be happy because of what you've done to us. I lost my way in life and let you paint me as the pitiful, broken victim, and yourself as the good older brother. And somewhere along the lines, I convinced myself that I couldn't hate you, because you were the only one who understood, and also because you were the reason why. Every time I come back here, I think about you. Why you did this, why you made this room, and then I realized it. It's because you're still trying to find a way to gain that happiness back. The childish, naive child you used to be is gone, because that woman is too. You can't ever make yourself happy the way you were back then. And when I understood that, I understood why you kept coming in here and And when I understood that, I understood why you kept coming in here and trying to convince me to leave, even when you yourself would invite me. I understood why you deflected your obsession with her onto me. Why you spend all your time just waiting around for me to come by so you can reprimand me. You knew I was unhappy, and you couldn't fathom it being because I didn't see those days spent here the same way you did. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so tired. Oh, jeez, she's talking so much. I mean, it's good, but my mouth feels like it has glue in it. Bah, okay. Did you think I would become happy once you morphed my memories of this place into happy ones? Did you think I'd manage to forgive her if I managed... Did you think... Sorry, oh my gosh. Did you think I'd forgive her if I managed to move on? That isn't the solution. Then tell me, what is the solution? When our eyes meet yours, you don't feel an inch of the anger that you felt before. Something is crumbling within you. I know what you wanted the solution to be. That's why I kept coming back here. You wanted us to cling onto the past together, forever reminiscing on those days, which is what they did in one of the endings, which I was talking about earlier. Trying to make those memories feel sufficient enough that you could feel happy in the present. But it isn't. It'll never be enough. And that's exactly what she wanted. That's exactly how she wanted to live on. But those aren't memories that I'll be trapped by anymore. It's time for you to stop playing the role of a good older sibling, because now I see what you really are. In the end, all you'll do is cycle through bits and pieces of painfully distant memories, trying to make it work, trying to make it feel like it could ever be enough. And somehow, that is enough for you, isn't it, Wyatt? That's the only time she smiles too. It's more of like, it's a genuine smile, but it's more of like in disbelief kind of thing. Because, well, she kind of sees the truth now, and she doesn't sympathize with him so much because of what he's done to her, which is why it's a genuine smile. It's not one that shows that she's happy, though. I guess you could argue that she's happy because she understands now. She has the truth that allows her to move on, and also at the same time it allows Wyatt to move on because, I mean, yeah. The sunset is never ending, even though that day has long passed. Time stands still in the artificial world, and you remain still with it. When she stands up, you cannot bring yourself to get up with her. Her voice is clear, and she doesn't look back at you. That is your happiness. That's the true end. And yeah, she's crying because her brother is, as of now, a lost cause. And that's it. That's all the endings. Whoa! Oh my gosh, that took an hour. Jeez. I didn't even realize it would take that long, but I guess, well, no, I was talking a lot through the entirety of it. I'm sure if I just played through it straight, it wouldn't have taken that long. But yeah, that's all 4 endings of Happiness Death. And this was fun. I mean, I like chilling and just talking about it. So, that probably answers a lot of things that I kind of left unsaid. Hey, thanks for being here, Ate. You're the last remaining viewer. You've survived. Yeah, I like streaming. Streaming is fun, especially since this is something that I made, so when I interpret stuff, no matter what, it'll always be right. And that's what's fun. That's the best part. So, that's Happiness Death, and if in the future viewers and whatever, yeah. Future viewers, if you want to give it a try, I'll probably link it down below. Thank you if you give it a chance, even though this details literally everything about it. But yeah, if you download it and stuff, just let me know. If you have your own playthrough of it where you want to talk about it, send it to me, because I like watching when people play through it themselves. And I like hearing other people's interpretations of it, so I know that in the very first playthrough that someone did of this game, which I was really excited about, he interpreted the happy end as the sister being dead the entire time, and it was just that was the entire delusion, which is why she never gets up for the chair, why she stays there, which was really interesting to me, because it's a good interpretation when you haven't seen the true ending. The true ending is very linear and very straightforward with what happens, but yeah, I like the way that other people interpret it. I mean, I'd say, as the creator of the game, I'd say in the realm of the other endings, anything is possible, but the true ending is very linear with what happened, and I mean, I guess there would be ways that you could interpret it, but it's very limited compared to, say, the neutral ending, where you get no clarification on what happened, and you could just, I don't know, go pop off on theories and stuff like that. But true ending is very linear. So overall story, they get kidnapped as kids by a woman who Wyatt confided in. Initially, the woman was supposed to be a teacher at their school, and it was supposed to be their music teacher, actually, because the background music before was supposed to be a song that all of them would play. Once again, it's the Amori influence. The song they played together. Yeah, Amori. It's all Amori. But so she was their music teacher, so it's how she knew them. It's why Wyatt was put in a position where he could confide in her, because she had like that authority figure with him, and it was also supposed to tie into how they were caught, because I think from the way that I imagined it, it was supposed to be something like they would stay in the room, but she'd still take them to school, and it's pretty obvious that, you know, they'd get caught if you did something like that, which I think is why I scrapped the entire thing and I just made it more vague, because I didn't want to bring too much attention to the backstory of Mother. She's just supposed to be there as the driving force of the trauma between Wyatt and Charlotte. I left it vague on purpose because, well, I just wanted to leave it vague. Yeah, there's nothing any deeper than that. I wanted to leave it vague because her entire character at this point in the story is just to drive their memories, I guess, and their, like, how they grew up, I guess, how they grew up and why they turned out this way. Why Wyatt turned out this way, especially because dude needs therapy. And that's all. Yeah. That's all I have. I don't think there's anything else I want to say about this game, so this is kind of me just officially moving on from this game. I have another game that I want to do. I'm still trying to figure out the like how it's gonna be specifically, but it has more gameplay aspects of it, so hopefully that'll be more interesting, and it'll follow a similar it has kind of similar vibes, I guess, to this one. It's also gonna be about a pair of siblings. One's gonna be older, one's younger, going through something. It's gonna be more focused on the younger sibling though this time, but it's very much kind of the same formula. It's just gonna be different story, different format, different art and all that, but that'll be something that I get to one day, whenever I get to it. But for now, that'll be it for me, and this is me saying goodbye to this game officially, because I've been wanting to make something like this. So yeah, thank you for playing. If you've played it, thanks for watching, if you are watching this in the future, and that's it. Okay, bye.